reaching out to all the massive on the African continent. And you're tuning into the Pan-African Bliss Show with your host, not other than Jody, from Monday to Friday. Stay tuned. Andrew Robinson, love, respect, and justice for all. Big up, massive. Greetings and salutations, massive. Here's Andrew Robinson, all the way in Switzerland. And you're tuning into the Black Hot Fire Radio. And you're listening, yes, massive, wagwan. Andrew Robinson, your Jamaican brother, they are. Reaching out to all the massive on the African continent. And you're tuning into the Pan-African Bliss Show with your host, not other than Jody, from Monday to Friday. Stay tuned. Andrew Robinson, love, respect, and justice for all. Big up, massive. Fuck with flavor. Kwa nini kesho? Yo, don't put me on a test, don't you try me. Don't talk like an onion drip, come me. I'm the last day, I know where you can find me. At guys on a bro, check it time me. Don't put me on a test, don't you try me. Don't talk like an onion drip, come me. The last day, I know where you can find us now. At guys on a bro, check it time me.
Weed that I'm smoking belladonna. Y'all slipping on me in a coma. We outside, no Rona. Everybody getting beer, sipping no Corona. Seen a number, but I mean it, I need no more. Keep a look different, looking at me like a foreigner. Shawty not shit if she's selling in the corner. Body shawty got the neck, then a dial in the phone. Bars, bitch, real bars, ass bitch. Everybody real, I exposure like a toner. I'm forever in your brain like a trauma. Hoes get one chance, more piece of dick, 9 times.
Don't put me on my chest, don't you try me. Don't talk like an onion drip, come me. The last day, I know where you can find me now. At guys on a bro, check it time me. Don't put me on a test, don't you try me. Don't talk like an onion drip, come me. The last day, I know where you can find us now. At guys on a bro, check it time me.
925 in it, Dubai shit. Malika ni safi Dubai it. Toka bando toka club nikona to my niggas everything. This is so not meant for kids. Don't ever ring my phone, Joe. Kasi biz. Not to get a gram na 20 bitch. Free all the buzz gonna get na feed live gonna Instagram bado. Me in this big step up a streets naga games. Unajua mega pressure mamblena wana teta. To get better. Daily kwa games unajua tunatesa.
Don't put me on a test, don't you try me.
Yes, good afternoon, family, and of course, Karibuni sana to another beautiful station right here on the Black Hot Fire Network radio station, media of the 21st century. This is the Pan-African Bliss Show, and of course, my name is Joby. To all our amazing listeners who are returning, and of course, to all our first-time listeners, Karibuni sana. Hope you do find it amazing to literally join us officially. That is by joining us through our website, downloading our app, and of course, subscribing to whatever platform you are streaming live with me from. Quick shout out to everyone with us on Facebook, on YouTube, on Rumble Live, everyone live with me, also on Spreaker, on the network. Our network is back. Yes, we're streaming also live on the network that is on the show page. So in case you're listening to me via the radio or you're literally streaming live with us on the show page, you can also pin your comments over there. I'm on the check to see who is interactive and what's up. Quick shout out to also everyone with us on TikTok. Shout out to Mira John. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Frida Media Channel, and to everyone listening to me on all the rest of our platforms. Hope your weekend was amazing. Mine has been fantastic. I can't complain. And of course, I can't wait to see how the end of the week, or rather how it is going to be till the end of it. Karibuni sana once again. Today shall be talking about a lot. I'll be sharing some historical facts. I'll be sharing some amazing proverbs coming from South Africa. After the short musical break, we'll be taking next. But today our focus of the day is going to the African Union. The African Union actually is on a debate, and I think during the weekend, leaders or our representatives, our selected African leaders were on this Africa Summit. And of course, we'll be discussing that and see what the meeting was all about, because I see we had on the likes of Kenyan president and so many presidents who attended. And of course, they are actually condemned, because they're calling out African leaders as a whole. They have condemned Israel genocide towards Gaza, or rather in Gaza. And this is during the African Union that was held in Ethiopia, that is Addis Ababa, the capital city of it. So Karibuni sana, that is what we shall be talking about. And of course, I want us to take us back to a story we discussed also on Friday about the the exportation, sorry, the exportation of donkeys, and which is actually being taken to China, and we discovered that this is actually used as a medicine, the skin of donkeys, and we saw that the medication of it, most of the people tend to believe that it is a youth preserving property. And I remember Keith and I had this debate, and we said this is all just some myths and misconception that also the Chinese people have tend to believe to themselves. But this has affected so many people, because we know donkeys in Africa are used in so many activities, especially in places that have less water. In places like Kibera, you'll find places that literally akuna maji, maji patikani raisi. These are business to so many people. But the moment they have their donkeys disappearing, and this is all going to benefit the Chinese people, it's something that we saw the African Union being called out to debate on this. And I've seen that actually they did come out and they have said that the donkey skin trade should be banned. And I'll be reading towards that and to inform you guys what is happening. We'll also be talking about the statue of the late first president of Tanzania, which has been unveiled in Ethiopia. And of course, Tanzanians are so mad because of the features of this guy. You know, they're saying that this is not our Julius Nyerere. This is not how he used to look like, and much more of what is coming up. So karibuni sana. That is what is lined up from me. Right here on the Pan-African Bliss Show, and karibuni sana. I hope you guys get to dive into the debate and enjoy the conversation with me. Karibuni sana once again. I'll be coming back, like I said, with a South African proverb, and I hope you can share any positive quote of the day that you do have, and of course, I'll appreciate for those who are with us. This is Ruka feature Ruka Fee King Kaka featuring Calligraph Jones. And of course, enjoy this. I'll be coming back with much more of the news and updates and what is happening in the continent of Africa.
Got the beautiful Miss V on them vocals. Calligraph Jones in the place. Let's get it.
From outer space, out of this world, we come in peace, tell you master all. We are taking over this place right now. But bring your crew, you can let them know. We in town, they should dress up for the show. We are bringing down this town tonight, oh. In an African party, this time for feet is on the ground. To raise our hands and say, look out, they'll have to lie to Joe. Tonight, so bring back a catch of Joe. Somebody bringing on the child to
Yeah, now sikose kulala manze. I was watching a certain movie during the weekend. That was yesterday, actually. I watched a lot of movies, more than I ever do. I'm not a fan of literally being by myself. Then I watched like 2-3 movies at a row. Hey, I tried. I really tried. But anyway, sikose kulala. I was watching a movie which I don't know. I think it's some sort of prediction to the same Obama movie that Keith made us watch, Leave the World Behind. And this is some sort of prediction. I didn't understand what the prediction was all about, where people are going to lack sleep. And those who are actually able to sleep, they are used as a scientific object, like they're trying to do some scientific test on it, and it is super crazy. The name of the movie is called Awake on Netflix, and another one that I'll also refer you to watch is also similar to that, is called How It Ends, and the third one is The Rim of the World. Those 3 movies have a lot of prediction going on there. I don't know how if this is an agenda we're trying to be told. Of course, from Leave the World Behind, it's the same type of a thing. But my question, and I remember I was asking, like, who's going to be held accountable for all this? Because yes, these predictions might come to happen, but you want to tell us to the way they finish up the movies, you want to tell us there's no one who's going to be held accountable for creating all this mess, destruction, no lights, no internet, people have no access to food. If you have no cash, literally you can't buy anything. It is super crazy. And I believe us as human beings, the people who do not control this system, those who are left behind like us, we should be very, very actually ready to prepare ourselves in these coming moments, because you never know when it's gonna happen. We've already been told it's gonna get to a point where we lack internet, we're gonna lack literally means of communication, and so much on going on. So you need to be readily prepared in whatever way you can. That is just what I can literally tell you as for now. But my quote of the day today comes from South Africa, and it's a South African proverb, and it's about a woman. It says, a woman holds the knife at the sharp end. And it says that this comes from South Africa, and it evokes a striking image, but people interpret it in different ways. Many see it as a reminder that African women often face additional hardships compared with the men folk, and they get paid less, they are subjected to more abuse, they are given little support with child rearing, and sometimes cannot access the sanitary products, which is true, because a woman holds the knife at the sharp end. But also another meaning of it is that others see it as an empowering mantra, saying that women have tougher characters and less likely to give up. But some spin it less positively, as saying women will put up with more, for example, in a marriage or even an abusive one, because that is true. A woman holds the knife at the sharp end, but it doesn't have to come in a negative way. You can literally be able to see this or view this in a positive manner. But karibuni sana once again. Hope you are motivated by that, or hope you've learned something about that, to all our African amazing men and female. But of course, as we start with today's conversation, I want to start with a video coming from not literally Kenya, but Africa. It's addressing Africans as a whole. Africans as a whole. Well, we've been told, and I think this is the education we keep on teaching each other here every single day. We try explain, if you are to change the system of Africa the way it is kept by the white man, these are some of the things we should be changing. Last week, we had so many discussions about some things that literally are being left behind here. We had a very good debate. I think it was on Monday night. Shout out to Awesome Show, when we were discussing about the school uniforms. And we saw where Esther Passaris is one of the Kenyan women representatives, and she says she's going to be banning school uniform. But when you look at the agenda, if it's going to be done, that is something. When it comes to action, these politicians will just say things to impress us, but when it comes to actions, it's different. Because who are you to say that you're going to ban school uniform? That's the first question. Who are you? Me as the British government, the one who controls your country, and of course you got the top, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers. We literally rule your continent. If we say this is a system that has to be done and implemented in the whole continent, which you've been following for decades, for years, and you never even consider to change, what makes you think it's going to be easy to do it right now, especially as a one person, and just without the backing support of the rest of the African countries? I think something we tend to forget is, when you look at the African countries, if you have to change things, we need unity. This is where the African Union comes in. If you have to change some things, unity is one of the way of winning these colonizers. But I want to share this very quickly. This is a young man, and he's explaining literally the culture of dreadlocks. And we've seen for so long the culture of dreadlocks, or however you want to call them, dreadlocks, has been literally something which has been received with a lot of negativity in the African continent. We've had so many debates, especially personally, I love referring back to 2021, when we had the pandemic still controlling us with the mask, mandate and all that. We saw 4 young men who were killed, mistakenly been identified as thieves, and because they had some rugged genes, they had dreadlocks, they were identified and assumed to be thugs, and they were killed. Has anyone been held accountable to this, or for this till to date? Has the family ever gotten justice? Hell no. And this is something this young man is trying to explain here, because these are culture that actually should be embraced. We should be able as African people to be allowed, and we should learn how to embrace our hair. We should be able to learn how to embrace our color about ourselves. Stop the skin bleaching, stop the bleaching of the hair, stop literally doing some crap that ends up damaging you. So let me share this, and of course I hope you get to learn something from this, to those who are listening.
In this image of Kenyan freedom fighter Dedan Kimathi, he looks almost mythical, bold and fearless in the face of certain death and the hands.
No, that's not it. Yeah. Okay, there we go.
In this image of Kenyan freedom fighter Dedan Kimathi, he looks almost mythical, bold, and fearless.
Hope I shared the right one. I'm not sure. Let me check. Okay, yeah.
In this image of Kenyan freedom fighter Dedan Kimathi, he looks almost mythical, bold, and fearless in the face of certain death and the hands of the colonialists. Part of his essence was his dreadlocks, flowing like a mane down his head. It was a common feature among the Mau Mau freedom fighters. When veteran Muthoni wa Kirima finally had her dreadlocks shaved in April 2022, after 70 years, it raised debate about erasure of history and denial of justice. Apparently, she had vowed not to shave her head until historical grievances surrounding land were addressed.
But have they been addressed? Have they been addressed? No, they have not been addressed. And this is why, again, I always love going back to what Uganda did. The minister of Uganda, I don't know if it's a prime minister, whatever he stands for, because what do they stand for? Nothing. So this guy called Ugandans idiots. As Africans to where we are right now, it's true. We've become too much ignorant and we kind of embracing some stupidity. But not all of us, some of us. But when you talk about the lands again, this is something that we see not just actually Kenya. So many countries in Africa are still fighting for their lands back, their ancestral lands. We haven't still these freedom fighters who live even up to date. And they're still fighting for their lands. But have they gotten any compensation, any reparations? Hell no. And if so, it's not us who get to keep the money. It is the presidents who get to keep the money. And that's why I questioned very hard, because I love comparing to what Ruto did, because we saw a video where we had freedom fighters saying that the British government, they have been writing letters to the British government to get reparations for the stolen lands and whatever happened to them. Some did get the money back, but some didn't. Ruto kept the money. Literally, they have never received this reparation money. And that's not even all. We saw also the Ghanaian president coming out and saying 1, 2, 3 things need to be literally, addressed. We need reparations for all this and this that happened in Ghana. But how sure are we, Nana Akufo-Addo, with the amount of corruption in Ghana, not just in Ghana, but Africa as a whole, and leave alone 3 countries right now, Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. How sure are we you're going to give people their reparations back after you demanding? Because yes, it's nice to see a leader, a presenter who's literally a leader of a country going back and addressing history, which is something, again, like I've said, without unity, I don't believe any of these coons can do it. And this is why we see Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso are moving to greater things, because unity. We've been preaching, but the practicing is different. So just a thought of it.
They still haven't been addressed. Dreadlocks have long been a symbol of resistance and nonconformity in the contemporary African society.
True.
Here is how. The Mau Mau freedom fighters stayed in the forest for months at a time and thus could not shave their heads, though they also had cultural reasons. This appearance also terrified the settler colonialists. It said this is...
Why did it terrify them? Well, I don't understand. I'd love to ask him what he meant by terrified. Is it true that white people are terrified by our hair? Because Kid confirmed with me. I remember you making me learn, and this still traumatizes me to date. They made us and they were shaving our hair by force. Then they stuck this on a pillowcase. Then they sleep on it. I can remember that part of the history you taught me. These people used to cut African women's hair, the men's hair, stuck it on a pillow. Like you can't use a cotton. You need a woman's and an African's hair. You stuck, like how psychopathic, you know how psychopathic you look? How comfortable are you even sleeping on top of someone's hair? Let me tell you why people are weird. White people are so weird.
Inspired the Rastafari in Jamaica.
I want to try and understand why it terrifies them.
Ocean.
Why does our hair terrify them? Is it because they can't afford to have the same texture? Which is seen, actually, I don't know if, Keith, you've seen those videos on TikTok, but there's so many videos circulating right now on TikTok, on so many platforms. Chinese are literally trying to have this African hair. I don't know what products they're trying to use right now, but they're really trying to go all the way Afro. They're really trying to go this way. They're really, really trying. And having some even trying to have dreadlocks, but in the African texture.
Away. For them, the Mau Mau epitomized a brand of Pan-Africanism that had much in common with the ideas of Marcus Garvey. Like the Mau Mau, Rastafari regard their locks as both a sign of their African identity and a statement of their separation from their oppressors. One of the consequences of challenging the status quo was stigmatization in a society whose perception of itself was shaped by white supremacy. As a result, even post-independence, dreadlocks are widely frowned upon in the workplace and schools. Stereotyped associations with crime have made Rastas targets of police profiling even today.
Yep, like I referred back in 2021, we had 4 young men in their 20s killed on the spot immediately just because they have dreadlocks and they have some rugged genes. Okay? But the dreadlocks, leave alone even the rugged genes, because I've seen the rugged genes also is a problem. I remember growing up in business, my dad, and of course, understanding style, and him dealing with the men's attire and all that. I used to see so many young men would come buy jeans which are rugged, but wearing it is also a problem. You're like, bro, unabangi mango, but you don't even wear it. We don't wear them. Why are you always piling up clothes, but you can't wear them? But it took me time to understand, because actually was our business and where I used to stay is around a police station. And we used to see young men immediately after buying clothes there from my dad's shop. You just get outside, this man is going to be arrested because of the profiling of, oh, you have dreadlocks, or maybe you just wore the jeans right there. You look like a thug. You look like a thug. So yes, this man is saying the facts, because in 2021 until today, this family has not gotten justice. 4 men were profiled because of having dreadlocks, and they were killed.
But things are improving. Dreadlocks, though still misunderstood, are more widely accepted these days. And even
I remember Kid told me we should not call them dreadlocks. That is a white man's term. We should call them locks.
appropriate.
Locks or dreads? You should call them which one? Dreads or locks?
Progressive lawfare has also been used to enforce tolerance of this authentic African hairstyle in our schools and workspaces. The High Court in Kenya, for instance, ruled that Rastafari student can wear dreadlocks after a father sued the school for refusing to admit his daughter because of her hair. This would have been unheard of a little over a decade ago. So while Dedan Kimathi is gone and buried in an unmarked grave, his political legacy lives in Kenya, but his cultural legacy lives in Africanness worldwide. Long live the undying spirit of Dedan Kimathi, long live.
Long live, and that's what's up, period. Karibu sana Keith.
Asante sana.
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
Come to colonize your ass. That's how I do.
Well, karibu sana. Then let's colonize. Yes, I mean, which term did you used to use? Did you used to use dreadlocks, or is it dread, or is it locks?
It just locks. Dread came from white people because they said it was dreadful. So it's just locks. You know, when they looked at our hair, they called our hair dreadful, bad, ugly. And what it is, our hair is godly, it's divine. That's why it's African people, only people with that hair. Everybody else on the planet has what animal fur. See, we never knew that. We got colonized. They told us to hate our hair. Of course, I grew up hating my hair and worshiping white people's hair. Now, understanding the dynamic of it, that we're the only people that got hair on the planet. Everybody else has animal fur. Now, we're not going to go into that on your show today, but, you know, how the hell is that? Question is, how do people have animal fur? How is that possible? So that's why you see the bugs inside the hair, the lice, because of animal. Go ahead.
There's a video I saw on TikTok, man. These people are crazy. I mean, I've seen the lice on their head, and of course, them having all that too much dirt in their head. I saw another one on TikTok who has the whole back is full of hair, and this guy is being done blood dry on. Like, I'm like, wait, what? They are doing blood dry on your back? I mean, don't you feel uncomfortable and wax that shit off? Like, who is even sleeping with you looking like an animal like this, you know? But
they all got that hair, Joe, because they shave. That's because of the what? The animal genetics. So see, so it's the whole thing about, hey, you know, I'm not going on your show right now, but where these people come from? Indians got it, Chinese got it. Caucasians got it. All animal fur on their bodies, animal fur on top of their heads. So what is going on? The African doesn't have any. We don't have a bunch of hair on our bodies.
We do not. We do not. But still another day. We shall learn that to all or teach our people that next time, because like we say, this when you go and when you try going deeper, it takes us to a lot of historical connections and unveilings, and we don't have that much time right here. But as we move on to the next conversation, I hope for that video I've shared to all my African people, especially our women, because it's very rare if you see. I see men nowadays doing wigs. I see men now trying to do wigs for those who do not, trying to cover their forehead and all that. I'm like, is this really necessary? But to all our people, I hope, especially to the parents, because like what he said, I've seen so many parents will not take their children to some schools, or will have to wait for a certain period of time because schools are not aligned the locks at school. And I believe this is actually a very big discrimination, me being African.
It is. It's anti-African. That was all set up by your colonizer. The hate, the African hate. That's why I meant to see that video. I forgot. I had it when they were showing the skin bleach. I took number one skin bleaching country. You can always figure out. I told you they're the number one coons in Africa, Nigeria. 71% the men in Nigeria skin bleach. The men are messed up in the head. So I told you, ain't no Nigerian gonna free no Africa.
I'm not surprised, because I saw there's this one of the actors we grew up watching a lot on Nollywood. Then one day we saw him, he came back looking all white from just being melanin. I'm like, what?
And remember,
what? You crazy?
Exactly. These morons don't even know it's about to start skin cancer. So Kenya wasn't even in the top 10 of African countries. So they're not. Number one was Nigeria. You had Ghana, you had Cameroon, and South Africa. It was all over Africa, but Kenya wasn't even in the top 10. As bad as it is in Kenya, it wasn't even in the top 10 of Africa. And I knew Nigeria was going to be number one. I know it. I know it.
I think after Nigeria, we have Congo, then Kenya. Because
Congo's bad too, but Kenya's not as bad as Ghana. Kenya's not as bad as South Africa. South Africa's worse than Kenya. He had the whole list. Kenya wasn't on the top 10. It showed you guys you're not in the top 10 of African countries. So top 10 was like, of course, Nigeria's number one. You had Ghana, you had Cote d'Ivoire, you had Senegal. Senegal was really bad. He's like, 20 years, all these people are gonna be dead from cancer. I said, I know, they don't even know that. But it was Senegal, Congo, Ghana, Nigeria's number one, South Africa. It was 10 on TikTok. I forgot. It says you go to TikTok, say what are the 10, what are the top 10 skin bleaching countries in Africa? Probably pop up.
And if you try to look at the percentage of now cancer, they're saying that the risk of women in sub-Saharan African developing cancer by the age of 75 was 14%. With breast cancer, that is 4%. Cervical cancer, 3.5%. Responsible for half of this risk. They are responsible for half. Listen to how this is Google. They are responsible for half of this risk. For men, the corresponding cumulative incidence was lower, which is 12%, with prostate cancer responsible for a third of this risk, 4%. So I'm trying to check at the percentage of cancer as in Africa as a whole. They're saying that at least 128 per 100,000 people, cancer incidence in the 46 mostly low-income sub-Saharan Africa countries exceed the average of 115 per 100,000 people. It's
probably high because of the environment, food you eat, ignorance. Because the environment's so bad, the infrastructure of not having access to clean water, not having access to just access to right living. So it would be higher there because everything has been made toxic. It's by the Europeans.
It is so sad to see that. Sorry, it is so sad to see that the life of today's Africans, you know, we're much more embracing the white supreme or the white lifestyle. You know?
Yeah, that's why you're dying so early now. You go, you ask Google, was there cancer in Africa 100 years ago? The answer is no. Why not? I'll go back 150 years for the white man should have been colonized. Was nobody. Average age now in Africa is 60. Average age used to be 150 years in Africa. How to go from 150 years, really 150 to 200 years is the average age in Africa. You tell African today, he can't even believe that. Wow, that sounds crazy. That's the African age, moron. Now your average age, now you barely reach 60.
We should have that Jamaican woman who is 140. Yeah, 140 educating people how to live right. Personally, I've started my detox in January. You remember me saying that last week? So I've begun the challenge and I want to see how far I can go because I want to start living right. It's been a while since I acted right with myself as well. So I'm on the journey.
That's honest. It's been a while. You have to act right. Yeah, that's honest.
I sat down yesterday before coming here because I gave you my schedule of how it was. Then I talked to myself and I told myself, yo, you need to take care of yourself. You know, you're messing around too much. So I've begun my detoxing journey and I want to see how far it can go. I want to try at least 2 months and see if it's going to work for me. So that's good.
Well, I mean, detox is about discipline. That always works better when you detox. Cut down. The problem with Africa now, Africans become alcohol crazy. That's a lot of the depth too. They consume a lot of alcohol in Africa now. It's become culturally, it was never this way. The alcohol consumption in Africa is absolutely insane. And so, I mean, it's sad. It tells you how broken a culture you've got, but you can't have a good time without getting fucked up. like wow, it's like wow, you're really bad. So, and it does so much harm to us as African people. That's why it was introduced to us. That's why white people don't introduce nothing that's good for us. That's why everywhere you go, everybody black is drunk, fucked up on alcohol. Everywhere I went. Go ahead, Joe.
I've come to realize that messes a lot with our visualization of aligning so much in our life. Yeah, because I feel like
that's on purpose.
As much as everything I'm manifesting is coming to being, I feel like I still don't have the alignment like I used to. Like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I could do that. Once I meditate, like I said, I don't want to do this for like a week. Then I get now on the meditation journey. Things will just start falling into place very quickly. So yeah, I believe as Africans, that's also something else we should also understand, that the white man is here to mess up with us mentally. And that really messes up completely because we are connected to the creator, which is super amazing. But anyway, as we continue, like I said, I want to talk about also what is happening in Ethiopia. We had the African, not the African Climate Summit, but there was a summit happening in Ethiopia that was held by the African Union. And some of the things that happened during the weekend is the unveiling of Julius Nyerere's statue, and which Tanzanians actually are criticizing Ethiopia for it. So they're saying that some Tanzanians online are expressing concerns that a new statue in honor of their founding president, Julius Nyerere, does not look like him. And actually, if you try, I don't know if you can see my image, you can see it really looks very not really well done. It doesn't really look well done. Let me try and enlarge on my screen.
I can't really tell. What's it look like, Joby?
There, it's on the screen there.
Does it look at least African? Because the Ethiopians control it now. They're not Ethiopians. Those mixed people up there, they don't like African people. So they might have made them not look even African.
Yeah, they didn't, because it doesn't look, being honest, it doesn't look anything closer to him. They have made an ugly, sad image of him. While I try to look at Julius Nyerere, most of the images on Google, he was an actually happy person, a very smiley soul.
Yeah.
He was not really...
Man. No, he was very loving. Like all Africans, very loving, kind, Pan-Africanist. He loved Africa, loved African people. Very loving, yeah.
Exactly. So they're saying that the statue was unveiled on Sunday, which is yesterday, outside the African Union headquarters in Ethiopia, capital of Addis Ababa. And one of the people from Tanzania says on Twitter that I know the gesture counts most, but this statue face has very little or no resemblance to Mwalimu Nyerere.
Wow.
And
Wow. And
those
the only and understand the reason why the corrupt as African Union wants to put Julius Nyerere up there because he was one of the leaders that was not corrupt. So they want to attach themselves to this man and his legacy when they have nothing to do with his legacy because they're corrupt. He's one of the leaders that didn't take money. He's one of the leaders that cared about his people. He's one of the leaders that actually died poor. He didn't use the country's wealth to enrich himself or his family. He refused to even live in a great house. I'm gonna live in a small house. So it's a benefit for them to attach his name to the African Union by putting a statue up there. And then you can't even get what the man looks like, right? Because he's African, and that offends those people. That's why.
It is. Then the question also that I have: why did they do it in Ethiopia? Why didn't they have the statue done in Tanzania?
Because the AU they want to put because the African Union is an Ethiopian. So they want to attach that to Ethiopia to the African Union.
So what this makes me feel, or what I'm trying to connect here, and
they got statues of him in Tanzania, Joey. I'm just saying that statue was supposed to just be a celebration of who he was. That's them trying to attach his good name to the African Union, Joe. That's what you do.
I feel like it's not even attaching. I feel like it's them trying, because we're talking about the African Union, and it's a sellout organization of the African countries.
Most people don't know that. That's how propaganda works. Most people not as smart as you, Joe. But they say, oh, they got Julius Nyerere. They go read about how good he was. So that means the African Union must be good. They're commemorating him and giving him all this props. Most people don't know that the African Union is fucked up.
I understand, but I feel like this could be also another way, because we've seen Samia Suluhu what she's been doing lately, and some of the people who have been attending these meetings that Magufuli said, you only if you are drunk will you be attending these meetings and signing some goofy deals that you know won't even serve you. So I feel like it's a way of getting much into Tanzania and them extracting resources or finding ways how they can benefit. And because we're dealing with coons who are also in this organization who understand that this is an organization that sells out African continent and the people. I feel like this is just not them trying to attach
it's called soft power, Joe. Soft power. It's called soft power. Look up the definition of soft power.
Soft power.
Soft
power.
SOFT power. Soft. Like a pillow is soft. Like your hair is soft. Soft power.
They're saying in politics, and particularly in international politics, soft power is the ability to co-opt rather than coerce. In contrast with hard power, it involves shaping the preference of others through appeal and attraction. Yeah, that makes sense. That does make a lot of sense. But they're saying that Nyerere was the leader of what is known as Tanzania from independence in 1961 until 1984. He was committed to Pan-Africanists and hosted independent fighters opposed by...
Exactly. The African Union today, Joby, wouldn't even have nothing to do with him. He... hosted, you gotta say, Tanzania helped all those Southern African countries get free, Joe. Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, because of Julius Nyerere having fighters in Tanzania, which the African Union would completely be against. Tanzania was the Niger, was the Burkina Faso of that day when Julius Nyerere ran it. He said, it doesn't make a difference if Tanzania is free, if all African countries are not free. If it's still controlled by white people, then none of us are free. And he also helped Kenya get free. And he told Kenyatta, hey man, let's give it the borders and just make it one country. Kenyatta said, nigga, you crazy. You're not fucking my shit up. They about to give me money. You sound crazy.
I think Kenyatta is the main reason why Kikuyus are considered to be money lovers. Because this guy from the beginning, like he just said, yeah. You just said, yeah, go with the money. It's super, super crazy. But shout out to you, John Mosquito. Hi to you too. Hope you had a beautiful weekend. Nice to see you. And you're saying that when did you... Oh, come on. I've always had a nose ring. Come on. It's the first time you've seen me with a nose ring? John Mosquito?
You're a mosquito, man. You gotta stop running that at night. It's making you delirious. Joe had that nose ring forever.
I've always had a nose ring. I just keep on changing the rings. That's all. But yeah. Shout out to you. But anyway, as we move on, I also want to talk about Zimbabwe and what the vice president had to say about LGBTQ scholarship. And he has said actually he will be blocking scholarship for universities of the young people who are involved in this agenda, and which I feel personally is a good move and actually should not even be debated about. The country should not even be talking about we wanna do this and this. It should not even be allowed to be practiced, you know, the same way we had Uganda, what they did.
Saying no.
But it is saying no, but not really like what Museveni did. We've seen so many African countries, like Kenya. Take a look at what we saw. Uhuru Kenyatta saying no to LGBTQ, Ruto the same thing, but you'll see these practices are literally highly being done. And I love giving a perfect example when we had a certain, I think Talanta Hela, when it was being introduced and at State House, we even had men who act to be transgender, that's how they call themselves, you know, men on skirts and on makeup, going to literally take pictures with the president. This is a whole man and he's acting like a woman, you know, and makeup.
Because that's what the IMF want. So what the IMF want, they told them to do that. So you take their dirty money, you're forced to do what they want you to do, to become their puppets.
It is crazy. And I feel like that's what most of the African countries are afraid of, because they know once they make these decisions, they're going to be facing sanctions like what Uganda is facing right now. And so much.
Zimbabwe doesn't care. Zimbabwe's always been under sanctions because they went and got their land back. And they've been trying to fight them. They've been trying to destroy them ever since, Joby. Since 2000. 2003. All right. So they went and got that propaganda about Zimbabwe starving and they bad and blah, 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 because they went and got the land back that the white people stole. So they've been under sanctions ever since.
Okay.
So they don't have to say, I don't give a shit what you do. We don't want the LGBTQ and it's not going to be there. You've already sanctioned us. So they've been trying to overthrow Zimbabwe because that's what like Temple told you. South Africans are scared. They're cowards to get their land back. He said, yeah, we're scared of the sanctions. We don't want to turn out like Zimbabwe. But you got no control of the country anyway. Most of you South Africans sailing up are uneducated. You're morons. You're considered morons. You run around. Oh, look at the development. Look at our infrastructure. That's white people. You are ignorant. Most of you are dumb. You're backwards. You live in the slums, but you're happy how great the other part of the country is developed. But you are considered some of the dumbest people in Africa. See, that's the dirty little secret. Zimbabwe, even out of the sanctions, that shows you we're considered the smartest people in Africa.
So, and my internet, we're back.
So, even with the sanctions, Zimbabwe was considered the smartest, the best educated in Africa. And I know that's true because I sit on the panels. I sit on the panels with Rumi Zai and her girlfriend and those other guys. And I was like, what the fuck are y'all smart? Shit! I was like, what the fuck are y'all? It blew my mind how smart the Zimbabweans were. I said, what the fuck are y'all smart?
Because the literacy in Zimbabwe right now stands at 93%. And at 93%, that is the literacy, the level of literacy. So you can tell that these people are really highly educated. And I've heard you say that that's why South Africans are always mad, because these people literally can understand a lot. But they're saying that Zimbabwe's powerful vice president said that the government will block a university scholarship for young LGBTQ people, and a move that human rights group described on Friday as a perpetuation of the African countries' homophobic practice.
Why?
And the state.
Why they so mad about Africa do? All the Arab countries do. Why they never get mad about the Arabs? The Arabs, you never have them say shit about Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain, Yemen, Kuwait, Iraq. They don't accept none of that shit, Joby. They don't say nothing to them. Nothing.
Only Africa.
Only Africa. That's right.
To control the people. That is one, we understand, to depopulate, because I believe, understanding now their agenda, not only to depopulate and to slow down our production rate. That makes sense. Our siren rate. They know the generation that is gonna be coming is gonna be much woke, and which we're seeing right now. Is gonna be much woke, and that is what they're trying to literally fight, and they're trying to introduce this and make it a norm. And this is gonna lead us to a weak society. Men, imagine men who are acting like women, and you expect a revolution from them. Are you crazy?
Exactly, Joe. Exactly, Joe.
You have a whole gloss on your lip and you're telling me, revolution is, come on, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. You know what you're talking about. It is crazy, but I think African people, that is one thing we need to understand. This is an agenda that is targeted on us, especially the youth, because we've seen them funding. We have NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and which are funding so many young youths. And I believe this is actually being embraced, because if you go approach a youth who has no job, I've been literally looking for a job for 5 years, 10 years. I have a degree, I have a PhD diploma, but this system don't want to give me a job, and I'm being offered 100,000 every month for just being LGBTQ. Of course, yes. That is the advantage we're also using on African people, and
it's gonna be free butt plugs for everybody.
Hey, yo, you're gonna be walking like I don't know what to do, like a kangaroo. Have you seen a kangaroo? You're gonna be jumping instead of walking. They say that the state university scholarships for people between the age of 18 and 35 is sponsored by girls. It's called Girls, and a membership organization of LGBTQ people in Zimbabwe. The association stated offering it in 2018 without incident, but a recent online advertisement inviting applications attracted a harsh response from the vice president, who goes by the name Chiwenga, a self-proclaimed devout Catholic and former army commander. In a strongly worded statement that he made on Thursday night, he claimed that the scholarship was a direct challenge to the government authorities, and he says our schools and institutions are higher learning will not entertain applicants, let alone enroll persons associated with such alien and anti-life UN. Let me read that.
He said alien. Alien means foreign. Anti-life, exactly, against life, because you can't have babies if you're talking about your. You know what? I'm on YouTube.
And African and Christian values, which are being promoted by and cultivated by as well practice in decadent societies with whom we share no morals or cultural activities. And that is so true. And I don't think we need to be taught any of this. Personally, I feel like Africans who, because I've seen so many videos of, I woke up, we've seen such videos. I woke up feeling like a woman, that's a boy. I woke up feeling like a man, that's a lady. I feel like this is just something we want to literally embrace, but it's not in us, it's not in Africans. And that's just the fact. It is not in us. We just want to embrace it, but it's not in us. And we should just be the ones understanding what the agenda is.
Our culture.
Because in the next decade, we've seen some disadvantages that come along with it. And perfect example I'd love to give is like what the US government was trying to pass. That was last year when we saw them saying parents who do not accept their children to their feeling, the government shall take them away from them, and then they shall perform these surgeries on them of changing their genders. And we've gone further to understanding once you have these operations of you having implants in your body, cutting off your dick or such kind of things, later on they lead you to diseases that you cannot be able to control. And the same system that made you fight for your human right won't fight for your life, because it's you now fighting for your life alone. So it is up to you.
Exactly what they do, Joe.
But anyway, moving on to the major focus of the day before we get to the end of the conversation. Time is really going super fast.
Right.
I want to.
Hey, is Shimon and them back? Didn't they go home?
No, they're here.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. All right.
Yeah, they're here. Before we get to the major focus of the day, I wanted also to talk about the issue of donkeys, and that we discussed on Friday. Yeah. Shout out to John Mosquito John Mosquito has been posting everywhere. Joby is a donkey eater. Kenyans are donkey eaters. And Kay Williams, I guess, on the WhatsApp chat. Shout out to y'all. And I also see. Okay. Shout out to you, GK. Nice to see you. But yes, the African Union has come out and has condemned the issue of donkey skin being traded to China, and they have called the term, or they have described it as a brutal action. And they're saying that animals welfare charities have welcomed an African-wide ban on the controversial donkey skin trade, and it will make it illegal to slaughter donkeys for their skins in 55 countries across the continent. And demand for the animal skins The demand for animal skins is fueled by popularity of an ancient Chinese medicine called Ejiao, traditionally made from donkeys. And I believe this is quite a very good move. And I'm proud to see, because it was a question posed if the African Union will ban this, but I'm glad to see that they have actually taken a positive action and called the matter out, because so many people are losing their jobs, because we read that this is one of the businesses that most of the people rely on. They use donkeys to supply water. I see this is actually very active here in our county where we are at. It's very, very active. It's a daily business.
Hey, you know what? We might have to look at that. We might have to use that place we got that commercial from to get water. They said we don't got no water in there, Joe. We might have to get water from the tap is salty. We might have to go talk to them people about getting us a water contract.
Okay, sure. Okay, then we'll see how we can go about that. We'll talk with you and Pavin and see how we can walk around that, because we have no water here, and buying water is also money. Yeah, and I can do that. I can do that every day. I can. But anyway, moving on to the major focus of the day is about the African Union. This weekend we had so many African leaders on the African Union. I've not understood what the meeting was all about, but what they have done is all of them, because we saw only South Africa was the only country that called out Israel for what they did, or for what they have been doing in Gaza and all that. But I see African leaders as a whole, they have come out and that they are condemning Israel of their offensive things that they are doing to the Gaza people. They're saying that the leaders of the African Union Summit in Ethiopia capital Addis Ababa on Saturday condemned Israel offensive in Gaza and called for its immediate end. We have Moussa Faki, the chair of the African Union Commission, said Israel offensive was the most flagrant.
Flagrant.
If I'm pronouncing it correctly, violations of international humanitarian law, and accused Israel of having exterminated Gaza's inhabitants.
Of course, but what are you going to do? Nothing, because these people actually run the world. They're the ones who own the banks, they own countries, they own America, they own China. That's why nobody's done anything. Everybody innocently, they can kill innocent people and nothing's done. Nothing.
And
people just talking.
It is crazy. They're saying that Faki spoke along Palestine Prime Minister Mohammed. Yes, I can't read that. Mohammed, who also addressed the summit, and they're saying that rest assured, we strongly condemn these attacks that are unprecedented in the history of mankind, and we want to reassure you of our solidarity with the people of Palestine. Azali Sosumani, president of the Comoros and the outgoing chairperson of the African Union, praised the case brought by South Africa against Israel at the International Court of Justice, while condemning the genocide Israel is committing in Palestine under our nose. The international community cannot lose its eyes to the atrocities that are committed that have not only created chaos in Palestine.
The only reason why they're doing this, Joby, because in history they're going to be judged. These African puppets are going to be judged as no good, dirty bastards. Because this is a genocide. You heard Ruto in the beginning, I stand with Israel. That's how you know he's a no good, dirty ass, wicked nigga. He don't stand on the side of justice. Anybody can see what happened, or the side of what's right or wrong. While they talk that dumb Christian shit to you, and you don't know what's right and what's wrong. Innocent, excuse me, innocent of killing, the killing of innocent men, women, and children. You know, I stand with Israel. Do you, nigga? Do you? Stand with genocide? They only do it now because history's going to judge them as being fucked up. They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing about it.
History should judge them for not even, because it's quite crazy to see them calling out on what is happening in Gaza, Palestine,
not in Congo.
Exactly, not in Congo. So this is a fail, actually, according to me. It's a fail of these African leaders.
They're not leaders. They are the jokes of the world. That's why people laugh when they went to Italy and they all got on that bus again. They are the disrespected jokes of the world. They're smacked in the head, in the face. They're like, nobody, Joby, looking at these puppets, you think you can be at the UN listening to anything they got to say? Hey, all these motherfuckers are morons. It's time to go get lunch, Joe. I'm like, Joby, you hungry? It's time to get lunch. These African niggas about to start speaking. Who cares? Time to go get lunch.
And then the way they talk, if you have someone like Museveni or Tinubu talking, man, you're gonna sleep. What are you listening to? These people are dragging.
They ain't listening anyway. They leaving. They like, what? Tinubu, what? Museveni, what?
They keep on dragging their words. But I've seen that Kenya president and that the Nigerian president have been termed as flying presidents, and of course this comes with the spending of the
expenditures, the money.
Yeah, and let me just read this of the article before I get to leave. They're saying that since Kenya's William Ruto and Nigeria's Bola Tinubu became president, they have faced similar criticisms over their frequent trips abroad. These two men have been the subject of unflattering descriptions. The costs associated with their alleged pensions for their air travel often constructed with tough economic conditions at home. A Kenyan newspaper, The Standard, nicknamed Mr. Ruto a flying president, and it said so great in his love for flying that it appears that he cannot pass by any opportunity, despite pressing domestic demands such as dealing with the high cost of living. Last month, Mr. Tinubu made yet another trip to Europe. Nigeria's opposition leader Atiku Abubakar said on social media that Nigeria does not need a tourist in chief. He criticized the president's private visit while Nigeria is drowning in the ocean of insecurity. That is true, because I've seen the kidnappings are so bad whereby the people who have been kidnapped are being tortured by snakes and tormented by snakes. This is so crazy, man. And this man is just taking trips. They're also adding that this is some of the ways that can be seen a cheap shot, easily leveled by any critic. Presidents need to attend heads of state meeting and nurture and nature foreign relations.
They don't need to be flying out the country. Why did John Magufuli get on a bunch of planes?
Exactly.
That's all nonsense. But what does it contribute? I need to go here What has it done for Kenya or Nigeria? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
And when you fly these places, they don't respect you because you a nigga without no power. They look at you laugh and say, nigga, get on the bus. And you say, yes, master. Yes, master. And then all that money you spent to fly there goes on the budget and the people got to repay that shit. Not you.
Exactly.
Not you. Then while you're riding on your goofy bus in Italy, hey, I'm a president, I'm on a bus.
They say that this is important only for diplomatic reasons, but also economic ones. Whatever they say in there. But some of them...
It is not your president that's supposed to be flying everywhere. It's supposed to be your Secretary of State, not the president. So Kenya has a Secretary of State. He does what they call the work of the state. Like Anthony Blinken, punk ass. Everybody see Anthony Blinken flying there, we're coming to Kenya, coming to Nigeria. He does state business, not the president. That's the Ruto punk ass and that drug dealing ass Tinubu, this other moronic ass nigga. They're supposed to be taking care of the country's business, so they can stop flying everywhere. That's for the Secretary of State, which all you guys have.
I think that's the problem when you choose people from poverty to become leaders, because men, they're just gonna do it.
You don't choose them.
We don't. But I'm saying that's why when we see them being selected is because these are people who never even had experience of such.
Of course, you think exactly that. That's why they call them. We don't need a tourist and cheap. He's doing a tour, exactly. They're going to see the world. Oh, look at France, look at England, look at China, nigga. Look at this. That's right.
But some of they're also adding that, but some of the people have pointed out that the late Tanzania president John Magufuli never traveled outside Africa.
I didn't know he was going to bring him up. I brought him up. That's right. You ain't never seen John, especially none of them damn African summits. He said, you think I'm going to go there and let them people disrespect me? I'm not getting on no bus. I'm not fucking around with none of them people. If they want a meeting, they come to me. That's what power is. You bring your punk ass to me. I'm not running to China. I'm not running to England, Italy, America. You bring that ass to me. You want to talk to me about Tanzania? You come to me. I'm not going to see you. Exactly. That's what power is, Joe.
And that's a man who actually understands himself and his position. They also added that the Kenyan foreign policy analyst Professor Macharia Munene acknowledges that some of these trips are necessary, but says others are undoubtedly wasteful of money. He says you have presidents who love to be in the air. Some of these trips are personal glorifications, not such country. Mr. Ruto and Mr. Tinubu have their spokespeople defend their trips and being vital to help address the very problems they are accused of ignoring. In 8 months since his inauguration, Mr. Tinubu has made 14 trips and average of just under a 2 month. But this is a draft. This is draft by Mr. Ruto, who has made about 50 journeys abroad in 2020.
God damn, 50. And this thing ain't been in prison 2 years yet. He been 50 times out the country. What? And you can what? That's how you know he's touring. He's going to fancy hotels, living it up. Like, oh man, this is nice. I ain't gotta be. See, this what these they never develop Africa.
And probably flying with some young coochie there, like Jeffrey.
Of course. You think they went on that Epstein? You think these African niggas went on that Epstein Island? Of course. What? Of course. The whole Kenyatta family money, Joby, is over there by Epstein Island. That's where their money's at, in the Cayman Islands, right there where Samuel's at, where Sam on our network is at. The Cayman Islands, where the Hooroo's got all their money at. That's right next to Jeffrey Epstein Island, goddammit.
But as they come to the end, they're giving us the first 18 months of Kenyan's president and first 9 months of Nigerian president. How much chips did they spend? So we have William Ruto, and he has spent in 18 months. He has spent 104 days. I think days spent abroad by the current previous presidents. The first 18 in the first 18 months, 104 days. Uhuru Kenyatta spent 95 days.
It's okay. So Uhuru spent only 95 days in 10 years. You got Ruto less than 2 years that surpassed that shit. And that's how you know this thing is tourism. Ah, man, time to leave the country, go see some real shit, nigga. Goddamn. I gotta go get away from my bum ass wife. Go get me some young coochie up in here. Damn right.
Tinubu has spent 71 days, and we had Mohamed Buhari who spent 59 days. He tried, man. He tried. 59.
That's 10 years. So that's no. This dude ain't been president a year, and he's only been gone 71 days.
It is crazy, but welcome to Africa and its leadership. That is what we literally face every single day. But family, we're coming to the end of today's conversation. Hope you have enjoyed this amazing time with me here. Thank you so much, Kid, for tuning in and diving in this conversation with me.
Family.
Later, for those who are coming in late, kindly catch up the show on a replay. It's on the Rumble page. It shall upload itself automatically also on BitChute. Check it out on Spotify as well. I'd not promise on the show page, because if you're on the show page live with us, you have also been there with me and you've enjoyed. But much love. Thank you also to Freedom Media Channel. Thank you to John Mosquito, to everyone who has been with me on TikTok today. Shout out to you, Queen Aisha. I'm seeing you popping and out just listening. Asante Sana.
Wow,
But anyway, much love.
100 times. See this? Damn. This Negro don't ever stay home. It's time to go, y'all. Hey,
No time for life.
Rudo, the country's having economic problems. I know, but fuck that. It's good to be the president, nigga. I'm gonna fly to Vienna and chill. Give me a massage.
And I'm just saying, I think after he comes back, after him having some young coochie, of course, the wife is now, she wants some. You've been away for like 30 days. I want some. But this guy comes, it's like
he comes back with sex toys for her ass. Then you go use that shit.
Oh my God.
Got time to be fucking with. I ain't got time to be fucking with you. I've been busy.
Period, man. Because this lady, every time she's viewed anywhere, she's always looking stressed with some black eyes and all that.
All right, she's sexually frustrated. Like, God damn, I know this thing. And this nigga going to goddamn Europe, fucking all kind of white women. That's right, nigga. That's right. Come on, I brought you back the toys. Now, either you use them or you don't. It's up to you. You do you.
All types of toys that have not gotten to Africa, baby.
That's right. Here you go. All kinds of, and specially made butt plugs. Here you go.
Much love, family. Have an amazing day. It's been an amazing conversation. See you guys later on the Africa Today show.
I'm gonna send you $240 for the fans and the couches and everything. I'm gonna send you $240.
All right.
So you go order the things from Killing Mall. Then they go get the man his money for the couches and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, did you go find some chairs? Yeah, probably not.
I'm about to go right now as I go take something to eat.
Come on, and don't make them all expensive. See if we can find the same ones we had last time when we first moved in. It cost like $50. Shit.
Yeah. So I'll go check. But anyway, family, much love. Have an amazing rest part of your day, and see you guys later tonight on the Africa Today show. Come back and catch up with the African.
Shout out to Rudo. You my hero, Negro. Got there flying around, getting all kind of young coochie.